Brian Shay. I'm the CIO of MedOne Healthcare Partners out of Columbus, Ohio here. Been in the IT industry for about 30 years, and about 20 of that being in the healthcare space. MedOne, we're a independent, physician-owned and led practice of over 200 employees, and we were founded in 2000. I look at EasyIT as really an extension to my team. The group is, we run a relatively lean IT organization. We are pretty unique because we are 100% in the cloud at this point in time. As we continue to grow, we're not necessarily growing the same way with our internal IT staff. And we really looked for a partner that we could form a relationship with to leverage the, tool stack that they have, utilize their help desk and their IT expertise, where I wasn't necessarily growing my team internally, at maybe that same rate of growth that we were having as an organization. So again, I look at it as, the tools that EasyIT does bring to us, we would not necessarily be able to do on our own cost effectively, where EasyIT brings kind of the economies of scale, to us, where we could leverage some of this enhanced security. As we kind of mature our security model, it just brings another, multiple layers, right, to our environment that we just weren't doing necessarily on our own, that we could leverage a partner to kind of help fill those gaps, I guess, with us. So we previously did have a managed services partner in the environment. So the team was familiar, at least the concept of and working with a managed services partner. What we were, again, looking for was, okay, how do we go to the next level, with it? I really look at my internal IT as specialized IT and really wanting them to focus on core business initiatives, things that really drive and make a difference on our clinical care side of things, as well as improvement of our operations. And it was important to us, in conversation of how do we do that, find a partner that ultimately that we trust. Because that's the biggest hurdle, getting over anytime you bring in a managed services partner is the level of trust, but also getting your users, so not just my IT getting used to it, but getting my end users comfortable in contacting somebody, because as you know, it's a lot easier to pick up the phone and, or walk down the hallway and tap somebody on the shoulder. And we just had to get out of that mindset of, how do we help them to, how are we more effective in how we operate? And a lot of it had to do with also scalability, work smarter, not harder, right? And make sure we leverage the partner where we could. So we've always, I think we've definitely seen an uptick from our previous MSP to EasyIT on having acceptance of our end users, and even our IT leveraging EasyIT is really that extension, of our group, versus looking at it as just a separate entity or a separate vendor or something like that. So, our goal is that they're reaching out, our end users are reaching out directly, to EasyIT, and getting the help that they need. I know there's always challenges working with any managed services partner and getting them to understand and learn your environment, but I do think EasyIT has some good mechanisms in place, from let it be documentation or how the group is structured on supporting, each of their customers, that they have. I think that helps bridge that gap, a little bit. Yeah. Getting us quicker, I guess, to the comfort layer of working with an outside, group on support, and supporting us. So I think the IT group was getting them comfortable in, hey, they don't have to do this all on their own, right? We now have a partner that you could leverage to help you, get things done, because, there's a lot of projects at the end of the day in any organization, and, how do we prioritize them, and how do I have, people working on the things that they need to be working on, and then leverage our partner in EasyIT to do what we need to do from our day-to-day operational side of things.